Hey guys, it is J Star Wars 360 here with my review of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. I saw this movie a few days ago, but while I was on vacation with my family, and I'm here to review it for you guys. So, if you guys read my Hobbit review, I'll have a link in the description to my Hobbit Unexpected Journey review and my review of this movie in the description. Anyway, if you read it or if you've been following movies, you know I enjoyed The Hobbit. I liked it, but there's a lot of pacing issues with the film, and there's a lot of stuff I felt like they could have cut out or shortened. So going into this movie, I was generally going to be more accepting. Like, I was going to roll with all the filler and whatever they added. And, critically, this film was getting better reviews, so I was deciding to roll with it and not get super excited, because with film adaptations books, usually if I get too excited, I will wind up disappointed. So I, went in optimistic, but at the same time, not that excited. I saw my brother who was really excited for this movie. So I saw the film, and I was rolling with it. I was enjoying it. I was definitely seeing why people were preferring it over the first one. There were a couple scenes, particularly towards the middle, that were starting to bother me, where the film kind of loses momentum, and I'm like, come on, you could have cut this out. But, again, I was rolling with it. Then we get to Smaug, I got really excited. And for a while, it was really good. I mean, not as good as Rails of the Dark, which that's probably going to be the highlight of all these movies, because that's my favorite part of the book. But we'll see. So anyway, I was enjoying the encounter with Smaug, and then it went on for a little longer than I wanted to. I was starting to get annoyed. And then I got really bored. And then the movie ended at the worst possible... Oh yeah, I'm going to spoil the movie. So if you haven't seen The Hobbit yet, don't watch this. I mean, if you read the book, you can watch this, but at the same time, it's like the movie kind of does things differently, so if you don't want Peter Jackson's take on the story ruined for you, then don't watch this. But yeah, then the movie ended. I was really not feeling it. I thought it was going to be similar to The Hobbit, where I was not too big on it, but my brother would loved it. So the movie ended, and I looked over at my brother, and he's like, this movie was a big letdown. Like, it really was. This could possibly be the most disappointing film I have ever seen. I have seen all year. I mean, Man of Steel was disappointing, but it was still enjoyable. I mean, I don't think it was as bad as Superman Returns. And also Man of Steel, it was more in comparison to the Batman movies and other Superman movies. Like, this wasn't a sequel, it was a reboot. Hobbit was a sequel. And in comparison to the first movie, while it has its problems, was far more enjoyable, far more engaging than this movie. This movie was a whole lot of nothing. Now, I will do a separate video where I go into a bit more depth about stuff I like, so if the haters are like, how dare you not like The Hobbit 2? Everyone loves it, why don't you like it? Again, I'll do a separate video saying stuff I like, so, to appease the haters. But first off, I want to make one thing clear. I've read the books. A lot of the critics, a lot of the people I follow online, like Jeremy Johns, Schmoes, Beyond the Trail, they either haven't read the book or they aren't that familiar with it. So their opinion is going to be a little altered. Because again, they aren't that familiar with the story, or if they are, they don't know it as well as I do. Me and my brother, we read the story, we read the books, so this is pretty much the perspective for someone who has read the book and remembers it pretty clearly. I mean, I have it right here. This is the book. I have it. I've read it. So anyway, oh yeah, this video is probably going to be long. So, what is my major problem? Again, if you want more in depth, I'll have my review. Well, this movie was a whole lot of nothing. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is there was no real substance. It was just a whole lot of characters running around and action scene after action scene after action scene. Like with the first movie, it had character moments. You had the 45 minutes of us, while long, we spent time getting to know Bilbo, getting to know the dwarves, enjoying them. There was character. This movie, every scene is action, running around. There's no moment where the movie lets the characters breathe or we get to know them. It's just situation to situation. And again, the first movie, there was a bit more character. And what made me come to this conclusion was, I'm going to spoil something. In the book was the ending. Now, in the book, Bilbo just talks to Smaug, and then Smaug says, "I am not Smaug!" And then he flies off and destroys Lake Town, and then is killed by Bard. In the movie, for some reason, in order to stretch it out, they wanted Smaug to still be alive in the third movie, so they have the climax not be Bard killing Smaug, and then we tease Battle of Five Armies, which is how it should have ended and how I thought it was going to end. But here's how it goes down instead. Bilbo runs out, he runs into Thorin, who's coming, all the doors come out, and there's this big epic fight with Smaug, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it goes on way too long. And there's no tension in it, because if you've read the book, you know he's going to fly off, and you're just waiting for him to fly off and Bard to kill him. But instead, no, this is the climax. And again, it would have been a fun scene, but it went on way too long. It was really pointless, and it was just excessive action, too much action. That's one thing I hate in movies, when the action scenes go on way too long. Because action scenes are fine, but if you overdo it, it'll make me bored. 5-10 minutes. That's 5 minutes is pretty good for action. But yeah, again, if you overdo it, the audience will get bored. Man of Steel has this problem. Avengers has this problem. Pirates of the Caribbean's Curse of the Black Pearl's climax kind of has that problem. But this movie, it's just like that. And it won't be so bad if I didn't think about it and realize that every scene in The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug was just action, 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 action. Which is probably why people prefer this movie over the first one, because the first movie, nothing really happened. It was just a lot of them walking around. But there was character and story in that one. This, it's just action, action, action. And it's just mindless entertainment. And what makes it even more annoying is the way it's shot. There's so many obnoxious close-ups in this movie. Like, it's meant to be seen in 3D. There's so many shots of characters' faces, particularly Smaug, where they're literally this close to the camera. Well, not that close, probably more this close, but you get my point. Like, it's the obnoxious, we're going to shove it down your throat for you. Unlike Frozen, where the 3D was just enhancing the picture and it creates some beautiful scenes, like the opening when the snowflakes are flying around and they're coming so close to the screen you can almost touch them, or when Elsa's singing Let It Go and she's building the ice castle and the snow just looks beautiful. Here, it's just obnoxious. And it's a shame because Peter Jackson was Lord of the Rings. He was awesome with stuff. I love Lord of the Rings, by the way. He had so many practical effects, on-location shooting, actors and makeup. It all looked really good, really believable. Here, there's just a little too much CGI. Smaug, while he looks cool, again, he's all CGI. I mean, I've heard they did motion capture, but it's not that noticeable. At most, it just looks like they just pasted Cumberbatch's face on Smaug. And whereas Gollum is an actual person. The point is, in Lord of the Rings, the monsters looked awesome because they're actually actors in makeup. Here, it's pretty all CGI, and it's kind of annoying. Plus, there's some really bad and clearly noticeable CGI in this movie. Like, there's one scene where they pour melted gold on Smaug, and it clearly looks CGI, it clearly looks fake, and that was kind of disappointing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This does not need to be 3 movies. This movie pretty much confirms it. I mean, the fact that they're dragging everything out. They're adding pointless filler like the love triangle, which originally wasn't in the movie, by the way. The whole dwarf, female elf, and Legolas love triangle, that was originally going to be in there. In fact, Evangeline Lilly, I forget if that's the actress. But the point is, the actress playing the female elf said she didn't want a love triangle, and they didn't have one. But when they wanted to do reshoots for 3 movies, they put in a love triangle. Like, there's a lot of pointless stuff like that. The love triangle, the sick dwarves in Lake Town, the fight with Smaug. It's all pointless filler just to drag the movie out. And this book is like, this is a 300-page book. 300 pages, and guess how many pages are left in the book? At the point they're at, there's 50 pages left. They're going to turn 50 pages into a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. It's ridiculous. And the movie ends with Smaug going off to destroy Lake Town. And someone kind of said, if the movie ends here, I'm going to be pissed. And it did. And it's so annoying because you should not use the cliffhanger ending to get us to watch the next movie. I should not want to watch your movie because it had a cliffhanger ending. I should want to watch your next movie because I am so immersed and engaged in your movie that I want to know what happens next. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, whenever they do a cliffhanger ending, I want to know what's going to happen next because I'm so engrossed in these characters. When the season finale of Avatar comes out, I want to know how it gets resolved. Here it's just, like, I am not looking forward to the third movie. They're going to drag out Smaug destroying Lake Town. They're going to add pointless filler in. They're going to drag out the Battle of 5 Armies. They're going to drag out Bilbo returning home to make this movie an epic. And people may or may not enjoy it, but, yeah, similar to the books, there's just all... This does not need to be 3 movies. I mean, I'm starting to even question whether or not Peter Jackson should have even directed this, because he's just way too obsessed with length. You need a flowing narrative, like The Hunger Games, the first one. I didn't see Catching Fire, unfortunately, but first one had a pretty flowing narrative. This drags. And yeah, so again, the next movie is just going to be a lot of filler. I'm not looking forward to it. So, again, this should have been 2 movies, if not 1 really long movie. My brother, while he still enjoys the first Hobbit movie, he does admit this did not need to be 3 movies. So yeah, a whole lot of nothing here. Really disappointing. All this wants me to do is either go back and rewatch the first Hobbit and appreciate it a bit more, and it also makes me want to go back and rewatch Lord of the Rings. So, those are my thoughts on The Hobbit. Again, I don't think this is the worst movie ever made, but it really didn't do much for me. So yeah, am I going to recommend this film? If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, if you're a fan of The Hobbit, check it out. If you're a die-hard fan of the books, just lower your expectations. You're going to be disappointed because Jackson takes a lot of liberties with this. Again, as for me, it's really kind of disappointing. I'm not really that looking forward to the third movie now. I'll still watch it, don't get me wrong. Just, I've seen the first 2. I might as well watch the third one, finish up the series, but I'm not going to watch it. So, those are my thoughts on The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug. I'm going to do another video where I talk about the stuff I like, so, because this is a movie everyone likes, but I hate. But I'm going to do one more video where I talk about the stuff I like, so... to show that even though I hate it, there are a couple good moments. And so, if you're one of those people who are mad at me for the hate movie, take some comfort. There are some things I enjoyed. So, I'll do that video either today or tomorrow. See how it goes. And yeah, so Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug. What did you think of it? Have you read the books? How well do you remember the books? And what did you think of the movie? This is JStars360 signing out. I'll see you guys later.